What function creates a number py array from a Python list?
np.array 1, 2, 3 converts a Python list into a number py-ed array.
How do you create a 1D array of zeros with 5 elements in number py?
np.zeros 5 returns array 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
How do you create a 3 by 3 identity matrix in number py?
npi 3 returns a 3 by 3 array with 1s on the diagonal and zeros elsewhere.
What does np.arrange 0, 10, 2 return?
It returns array 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 values from 0 up to, not including, 10 with step 2.
How do you generate 5 evenly spaced values between 0 and 1 in number py?
np.linspace 0, 1, 5 returns array 0, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, 1.
How do you access the element at row 1, column 2 of a 2D number py array ARR?
ARR 1, 2 uses zero-based indexing to retrieve the element at the second row, third column.
What does ARR, 0, select from a 2D number py array?
It selects all rows of the first column, returning a 1D array.
How do you slice rows 1 through 3, inclusive, from a number py array?
ARR 1:4 selects rows at indices 1, 2, and 3. The stop index is exclusive.
What is broadcasting in number py?
Broadcasting is NumPy's ability to perform element-wise operations on arrays of different shapes by automatically expanding the smaller array to match dimensions.
Give an example of number py broadcasting with a scalar.
ARR *3 multiplies every element of ARR by 3 without an explicit loop. The scalar is broadcast across the array.
How do you reshape a 1D array of 12 elements into a 3 by 4 matrix?
ARR reshape 3, 4 returns a 3 by 4 view of the array. Total elements must match.
What does ARR revel do?
It flattens a multidimensional array into a 1D array, returning a view when possible.
What is a universal function, ufunc, in number py?
A ufunc is a function that operates element-wise on arrays, e.g., np.sqrt, rr, np.exp, rr.
How do you compute the element-wise square root of a number py array?
np.sqrt, rr, applies the square root to each element and returns a new array.
What does np.where, ARR0 do?
It returns an array where positive values are kept and negative/0 values are replaced with 0.
How do you create a pandas data frame from a dictionary?
PD data frame, call 1, 1, 2, call 2, 3, 4, creates a data frame with 2 columns.
What is the difference between df.lock and df.ilock?
Lock selects by label, index/column names, while ilock selects by integer position.
How do you select rows where column age is greater than 30?
df age, greater than 30, returns a filtered data frame using Boolean indexing.
How do you select specific rows and columns by label in pandas?
df.lock 0:3 name, age, selects rows 0 to 3 and only the name and age columns.
How do you select the first 5 rows and first 2 columns by position?
df.ilock 5, 2 uses integer-based indexing to slice rows and columns.
How do you sort a data frame by column price in descending order?
df.sort_values, price, ascending equals false, returns the data frame sorted from highest to lowest price.
How do you sort a data frame by multiple columns?
df.sort_values, call 1, call 2, ascending sad face true, false, sorts by call 1 ascending, then call 2 descending.
How do you reset the index of a data frame?
df.reset_index, drop equals true, resets the index to default integers, drop equals true discards the old index.
How do you detect duplicate rows in a pandas data frame?
df.duplicated returns a Boolean series that is true for duplicate rows.
How do you remove duplicate rows from a data frame?
df.drop_duplicates removes duplicate rows, keeping the first occurrence by default.
How do you convert a column to lowercase strings in pandas?
df call a.str lower uses the .str accessor to apply the lower string method.
How do you strip whitespace from string column values?
df call.strstrip removes leading and trailing whitespace from each value.
How do you convert a column's data type to integer in pandas?
df call equals df call.astype int casts the column to integer type.
How do you convert a string column to datetime in pandas?
pd to _datetime df date_call parses strings into datetime 64 objects.
How do you replace specific values in a data frame column?
df call.replace old_val new_val substitutes matching values in the column.
How do you create a line plot with matplotlib?
plt.plot x, y, followed by plt.show, draws a basic line plot.
How do you add a title and axis labels to a matplotlib plot?
Use plt.title, title, plt.label x, and plt.alabel y before calling plt.show.
How do you create a bar chart in matplotlib?
plt.bar, categories, values, creates a vertical bar chart for the given categories and values.
How do you create a scatter plot with matplotlib?
plt.scatter, x, y, plots individual data points as dots on the chart.
How do you create a histogram in matplotlib?
plt.hist, data, bins equals 20, displays the frequency distribution of data using 20 bins.
How do you create a heat map with Seaborn?
sns.heatmap, df.corr, not equals true, cmap equals cool warm, displays a color-coded correlation matrix.
How do you create a Seaborn count plot?
sns.countplot, x equals category, data equals df, shows the count of observations in each category as bars.
How do you save a matplotlib figure to a file?
plt.savefig, plot.png, dpi equals 300, box_inches equals tight, saves the current figure as a PNG file.
How do you create subplots in matplotlib?
Fig axis equals plt.subplots, 1, 2, fig size sad face 10, 4, creates a figure with 1 row and 2 columns of axes.
What does the Seaborn pairplot function do?
sns.pairplot, df, creates a grid of scatter plots for every pair of numeric columns, with histograms on the diagonal.
What does the %timeit magic command do in Jupyter?
It runs a statement multiple times and reports the average execution time, useful for benchmarking code.
What does %matplotlib inline do in a Jupyter notebook?
It configures matplotlib to display plots inline directly below the code cell.
What Jupyter shortcut runs the current cell and moves to the next?
Shift plus Enter executes the current cell and advances to the next cell.
How do you add a new cell above the current cell in Jupyter?
Press A in command mode, press Escape first, to insert a cell above.
What does the %time cell magic do in Jupyter?
It measures the wall time and CPU time for the entire cell's execution, single run, unlike %timeit.
What are the main data types for numerical data in pandas?
int64 for integers and float64 for floating point numbers. Use df.types to inspect.
How do you create a categorical column in pandas?
df call equals df call dot as type category converts the column to the memory-efficient category type.
What is the advantage of the categorical data type in pandas?
It reduces memory usage and speeds up operations like group beyond columns with a limited number of unique values.
How do you extract the year from a datetime column?
df date_call .dt year uses the .dt accessor to extract the year component.
How do you extract the day of the week from a datetime column?
df date_call .dt day of week returns integers 0 Monday through 6 Sunday.
How do you check for missing values in a data frame?
df.isNull.sum returns the count of NaN values per column.
What does df.dropNA do?
It removes rows, by default, that contain any NaN values from the data frame.
How do you drop rows only if all values are NaN?
df.dropNA how equals all removes rows where every column value is NaN.
How do you fill missing values with the column mean?
df call.fillNA df call.mean replaces NaN values with the column's mean.
How do you fill missing values with the previous row's value?
df call.fillNA method equals fill performs forward fill, propagating the last valid value.
How do you interpolate missing values linearly in pandas?
df call.interpolate method equals linear fills NaN values using linear interpolation between existing data points.
What does df.isNA.any return?
A Boolean series indicating which columns contain at least one missing value.
What does pd_isNull value check?
It returns true if value is NaN, none, or nat, not a time.
How do you group a data frame by a column and compute the mean?
df.groupB category value .mean computes the mean of value for each unique category.
How do you apply multiple aggregations to a groupB object?
df.groupB call.ag mean as sum count returns a data frame with multiple summary statistics.
What is the difference between transform and ag in groupB?
Ag returns a reduced result, one row per group, while transform returns a result with the same shape as the input.
How do you use transform to normalize values within groups?
df.groupB group val.transform lambda x xx.mean /x.std standardizes values within each group.
How do you apply a custom function to each group?
df.groupB call.apply my_function applies my_function to each group data frame.
How do you count the size of each group?
df.groupB call the.size returns a series with the number of rows in each group.
What does pd merge df1 df2 on equals key do by default?
It performs an inner join, keeping only rows where the key exists in both data frames.
How do you perform a left join in pandas?
pd merge df1 df2 on equals key how equals left keeps all rows from df1 and matches from df2.
How do you perform a right join in pandas?
pd merge df1 df2 on equals key how equals right keeps all rows from df2 and matches from df1.
How do you perform an outer join in pandas?
pd merge df1 df2 on equals key how equals outer keeps all rows from both data frames, filling NaN where keys don't match.
How do you merge data frames on columns with different names?
pd merge df1 df2 left_on equals id right_on equals user_id joins using differently named key columns.
What does pd concat df1 df2 do?
It stacks data frames vertically along axis 0 by default, appending rows.
How do you concatenate data frames side by side?
PD concat df1, df2, axis equals 1, joins data frames horizontally, aligning on the index.
How do you join data frames on their index?
df1.join df2, how equals inner, performs an index-based join between two data frames.
What is one-hot encoding and how do you do it in pandas?
One-hot encoding converts categorical variables into binary columns. Use PD get_dummies, df, columns sadface call.
How do you bin continuous data into discrete intervals?
PD cut df, age, bin sadface 0, 18, 35, 60, 100, labels sadface child, young, middle, senior, creates categorical bins.
How do you bin data into equal frequency bins?
PD cut df, value, q equals 4, labels sadface q1, q2, q3, q4, creates quartile-based bins with roughly equal counts.
What is feature scaling and why is it important?
Feature scaling normalizes the range of features so that algorithms sensitive to magnitude, e.g., KNN, SVM, perform correctly. Common methods, min-max and standardization.
How do you apply min-max scaling using scikit-learn?
From sklearn.preprocessing import min-max scalar equals min-max scalar, df, call, equals scalar.fit_transform, df, call.
How do you standardize features to have mean 0 and std1?
From sklearn.preprocessing import standard scalar equals standard scalar, df, call, equals scalar.fit_transform, df, call.
How do you create a new column based on existing columns?
df, total, equals df, price, asterisk df, quantity, creates a new column using vectorized arithmetic.
How do you apply a custom function element-wise to a column?
df, call, dot apply, lambda xx2, applies the lambda function to each element of the column.
What does df.describe return?
It returns summary statistics, count, mean, std, min, 25%, 50%, 75%, max, for all numeric columns.
What does df.info display?
It prints the data frame's column names, non-null counts, data types, and memory usage, useful for a quick data overview.
How do you count unique values in a column?
df, call, dot value_counts, returns a series with unique values as the index and their counts sorted descending.
How do you compute the correlation matrix of a data frame?
df.corr, returns a data frame of pairwise Pearson correlation coefficients for all numeric columns.
What does df.shape return?
A tuple, rows, columns, indicating the dimensions of the data frame.
How do you view the first 10 rows of a data frame?
df.head, 10, returns the first 10 rows, default is 5 if no argument is given.
How do you get the unique values of a column?
df, call, dot unique, returns an array of all distinct values in the column.
How do you count the number of unique values in a column?
df, call, dot unique, returns the count of distinct values, excluding nan by default.
How do you rename columns in a pandas data frame?
df.rename, columns equals, old_name, new_name, returns a data frame with the specified columns renamed.
How do you set a column as the data frame index?
df.set_index, call, makes the specified column the new row index.
How do you create a number py array of random integers?
np.random.randint, 0, 100, size sadface 3, 4, creates a 3x4 array of random integers between 0 and 99.
How do you compute the dot product of two number py arrays?
np.a_b, or a at b computes the matrix /dot product of arrays a and b.
What does ARRT do for a number PY array?
It returns the transpose of the array, swapping rows and columns.
How do you stack two number PY arrays vertically?
np.stack, A, B, stacks arrays on top of each other along axis 0.
How do you perform element-wise comparison in number PY?
ARR5 returns a Boolean array where each element indicates whether the condition is true or false.
What does df.pivot_table, values equals sales, index equals region, columns equals quarter, agfunc equals sum, do?
It creates a pivot table summarizing total sales by region, rows, and quarter, columns.
How do you use df.melt?
df.melt, id_vars sadface id, value_vars sadface call1, call2, unpivots columns into rows, converting wide format to long format.
How do you read a CSV file into a pandas data frame?
pd_read_csv, file.csv, reads the file and returns a data frame. Use sep equals \t for tsv files.
How do you write a data frame to a CSV file?
df.to_csv, output.csv, index equals false, saves the data frame without the row index.
How do you select rows using multiple conditions in pandas?
df age greater than 25 and df city equals nyc, wrap each condition in parentheses and use and, or.